But I have been financially not doing great.
I recently posted about the fact I'm 26 years old and I'm in $95,487.73 worth of debt, and I want to talk about it.
I am 28 years old and I am in $40,722 in debt, and I want to talk about it.
So today we have some pretty terrible debt. We don't watch these videos to clown these people. A lot of these videos, they could be lessons for you. They could make your situation feel a little better. Maybe you'll see that you're not alone in your situation. Whatever it is, man, let's go.
As of January 3rd, I am in over $100,000 in debt. It is a mix of school loans, personal loans, and credit cards. Here's the breakdown. So for Miss Sally Mae, I owe $48,708. For Nelnet, I owe $50,140. I have two personal loans. One is for my car, and that one is $10,507. And then my personal loan is $4,703. And then I have three credit cards. The first one is $1,326. The second one, which is Best Buy, that one is $3,130. And then the last one, which is my Apple card, that one is $2,821. I do not know the exact amount, but it's around $120,000.
Sally Mae, man. When you see a debt this large, you gotta assume that, maybe a lot of it is student loan debt. I think that is going to be common amongst these videos. But good God. What's funny? None of it is funny, but the Best Buy card just caught me so off guard. That was so random, man. Come on.
I am 28 years old and I am in $40,722 in debt, and I want to talk about it. And before I break down my debt, I just want to say, growing up, my family, we didn't have those money conversations. I didn't have anyone in my life that could teach me, about all these financial things that I'm starting to learn now. But when I was young and I started getting credit cards, I didn't know any better. I was so naive. Why did 21-year-old me feel the need to have 7 credit cards? I don't know, but it happened, and now I'm here because of it. And I just really want to talk about it, and I want to kind of help break this negative outlook on talking about money that I've had most of my life. And I'm just tired of feeling shameful and embarrassed about my debt. And I truly believe you take away something's power by talking about it. So I don't want my debt to have this power over me anymore. So I'm going to talk about it because it's part of life.
Unfortunately, that debt will have power over you whether you talk about it or not. I get what she's saying though. That's why when, for example, you and someone break up, you don't even want to say that person's name. In a weird way, it does give them power in your mind. Whenever you hate someone or something, and you see this even with political figures, whatever, you don't want to say their name. This case though, when it comes to debt, the only way to handle it is by facing it straight on, not necessarily avoiding it. I understand when we're young, most people aren't taught financial literacy, and that is a true problem. And no doubt that's something that's done on purpose, but you will find people that did not fall into these problems. So there is something to say about doing yourself the favor of knowing what you're getting into when it comes to credit cards, loans, etc., especially with the access to information that we have.
I have been financially not doing great. I am a nurse. Even though I am a nurse and I make good money, I don't have money, which is the sad part because of the choices that I've made still currently and the choices that I've made previously, from a couple of years. I am in credit card debt, and it's this unhealthy cycle that I have been putting myself into, and this just relationship with money has just never been something that I was talked about. Lifestyle creep is definitely a thing, and especially when you are trying to make a brand for yourself, when you're aspiring to do something that you want to do, and content creation has been something that I've always wanted to do. Being a YouTuber has always been something I want to do. I've always just wanted to be on camera. I've always just wanted to make a name for myself, whether it be like through content creation, being a YouTuber, being an entrepreneur, like whatever it may be. I always felt like I was meant to do something other than nursing. And so I think for years I have been continuously like, you know, going with the trends and like, you know, buying whatever everyone else buys so that like I can post about it and like, you know, be seen. But then I get caught up with imposter syndrome of not being enough. For in order for me to become someone, I guess I was influenced by everyone else around me. So if I bought the next best thing, or if I like looked a certain way by buying these clothes, then I was gonna make an image, a brand for myself. And that turned into like so many like dumb purchases like along the way that I'm like literally paying for now. And don't get me wrong, I have been trying to get myself together when it comes to my finances, because obviously like I have money to pay my bills. I have money to like pay down the minimums on my credit cards. But a lot of the times I don't take into account like, money like for myself and money to, you know, just enjoy life. And most of the time like I'm struggling to even do that. So I think I've reached my breaking point. Enough is enough. Like living paycheck to paycheck, living with like the credit card debt and like the afterpays and everything, like I'm done. Like I'm so done. I want to be financially free. Like I don't want to have to worry about like, you know, if I'm gonna be able to eat. I just don't want to be in this cycle anymore, because it's like I want to travel, I want to buy a house, I want to get married, like all of these things. Like it's just like it's not possible until I take this step of paying off my debt. And not just paying off my debt, but like being financially literate and just understanding you can't always have your wants. You have to prioritize like your needs. And sometimes like I rationalize like my needs, my wants, to make them seem like their needs. And I just need to get out of this toxic like mindset. Like it sucks. And I'm not making this an excuse, but I guess like
something important that she says, she tries to rationalize her wants by convincing herself that they are needs. And I'm paraphrasing, but please, if you take nothing else from this video, take this one piece of information. We often make purchases with emotion and then use logic to justify them. So what does that mean? It means when you see something you know you'd be perfectly fine without, especially if you cannot afford it, we become emotionally attached to that purchase, and then we use logic to justify to ourselves why we actually need it. Do not ever fall for this trap. In this case, it's your own mind that's pulling you into this trap, which is actually pretty fascinating. But overall, you just hate to see something like this. I wish the best for her. There's just a lot going on here. You know, she also mentioned how she was hopping on trends and buying what everyone else was buying. The thing about keeping up with the Joneses is that the Joneses are broke as fuck too.
I recently posted about the fact I'm 26 years old and I'm in $95,487.73 worth of debt, and I want to talk about it. Up until 24 hours ago, I did not know that was actually the total of all of my debt, credit cards, and student loans. That number also does not include my auto loan, and if we are adding in my auto loan, the total number is $110,938.83. Since totaling up all of my debt, I don't think I've actually gotten one good breath of oxygen in the last 24 hours. I feel like there is an elephant sitting on my chest, and I don't think I can sit still because all I keep repeating is $95,487.73. All of this debt was racked up through decisions I made between the ages of 18 and 26. My first associate's degree I got from a community college and I didn't have to pay for because of the Pell Grant, but I decided to go to a university and got my bachelor's degree, which is where I really started to rack up the debt. Then in the last 2 years, I decided to finish a nursing degree at a community college in the last 2 years, but that's where I started to rack up even more debt. What really sucks is realizing that the majority of these student loans is not from tuition. It's actually from living expenses and living way above my means. My debt comprises of 2 credit cards, 5 federal student loans, and 5 private Sallie Mae loans. I can handle the federal student loans, but when I tell you Sallie Mae is bending me over and not in a way I like, it's actually insane. Sallie Mae is genuinely evil and they prey on young students. And the reason why they take advantage of young students is because they know if you're reaching out to a private loan like that, you genuinely need it. Out of the 5 Sallie Mae loans I have, one of the interest rates that is the highest is 16.28%. The lowest interest rate I have with Sallie Mae is 9.88%. Now, my federal student loans are between 4 and 6%, which I think is manageable. Although I had parents who would tell me what I should or shouldn't do, I never had anybody really sit me down and fully teach me financial literacy. I never had anybody sit me down and really explain to me the scope of what I was doing and what it would look like in the future when I had to pay for it. In the moment, all of the student loans just felt like fake money because they just kept coming and I just kept spending. I don't regret any of the experiences I've had between the ages of 18 and 26 or any of the things that I've done, but I do wish that I managed my finances way better than this. I think what's even more sad is a lot of these student loans were going to rent, which my rent was around $1,200 a month, and that's been consistent over the last 2-3 years. Thankfully, I do have a finance bro as a boyfriend, and he is really great at managing money and managing wealth, and so I am working with him to do a snowball effect. If I snowball all of my loans at the current rates that they are without consolidating them, I can pay all of this off by 2032. It's really sad because I'm excited about starting my first nursing job next month, but at the same time, I know that all of the money I'm making is going to debt. I'm turning 27 this year, and I wish I could be thinking about starting a family or getting married or buying a house, but really, I can't think about anything but paying off this debt. The last thing I would want to do is bring a child into this world while I have debt hanging over my head. So it almost feels like my life is kind of on hold right now, but I feel like it's even more motivation to just pay this off as quickly as possible. It is what it is, what's done is done, and at the end of the day, if you are in your early 20s and you're thinking about taking out student loans, I urge you to reconsider and ask yourself whether or not you really truly need it. If I knew then what I know now, I would tell myself that no experience, no desire, no want is worth the stress that I feel now.
So in this case, we have someone who says her parents did tell her what she should do, but she wished someone sat her down and taught her financial literacy. I mean, come on. There's only so much someone can tell you or do for you, advice they can give you. Naturally, she was probably just too young to care. And it is hard to really grasp these concepts when you're just becoming an adult and you're excited about what comes with that or what you think comes with that. Because let's be real, you grab a teenager and start teaching them financial literacy, if they aren't actively seeking that knowledge and aren't aware of even the idea behind adult finances, it could come off as being restrictive, holding them back, and they just won't care. Because that's what being good with your money is. It is being restrictive. She said her boyfriend is a finance bro. Hey, if you're a finance bro, what are you doing with someone that's damn near 100K in debt, man? Yeah, that's none of my business though. I hope you enjoyed this video and my commentary on what was shown. Thank you for watching, man. Peace.